Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by SEO SAMBA. Comprehensive high-performing marketing solutions for mature and emerging franchise brands. To supercharge your franchise marketing, go to SEOSamba.com. That's SEOSAMBA.com.
Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio. Stone Payton Lee Cantor here with you this afternoon. Lee, this is going to be a fantastic show. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast founder and CEO with SoBol, Jason Mazzarone. How are you, man?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, Jason, before we get too far into things, tell us a little bit about SoBol. What's that concept like? How are you serving folks?
Yeah, so SoBol kind of came about through a desire to have kind of a healthy, quick option for breakfast and lunch. I was living out in San Diego and kind of stumbled upon these cool-looking purple bowls and piqued my interest and started eating them and became a big fan. And when I moved home, nobody else was making them locally, so we started making them out of my family's little Italian ice shack. And that was 6 years ago this past August, and we've since grown to 40 locations across the U.S. and growing.
So now, what are the ingredients that are in a SoBol?
So the main ingredient is the açai berry. Açai is a superfruit native to the Amazon. Looks similar to a blueberry, but it's 80% seed. And grows off a palm tree, similar to the way a wine grape would grow. We kind of take those berries, pureed down, blend them with some fresh fruit into a real thick smoothie. We parfait it with our signature recipe granola, and then layer it with strawberries and blueberries and sliced banana, a sprinkle of coconut, and a drizzle of honey for our original bowl. But we offer, many different toppings, from tropical fruits, mango and pineapple, to super seeds like flax and hemp seeds, to natural butters, cashew butters and almond butters. So while we have kind of that one base, it's a limitless options for how you like your bowl. There's no wrong way to eat an acai bowl, that's for sure.
Now, is the person coming in there for a meal, or are they coming in here for like kind of a between meal snack? What's the kind of the occasion?
And I think that's the beauty of the product. We get classified a lot as kind of frozen dessert, just based on the product itself, but it's so much more than that. We're one of the few products and food options that you have that you could have for breakfast, lunch, snack, or dinner. We certainly see our biggest day segment is probably the breakfast to lunch part. It's a great way to fuel up with some natural energy, feel good after you eat it, so you can kind of get back after whatever you're doing, whether it's working out or just working. So it's good, clean products that are part of kind of that healthier lifestyle, things that are good for you and made right there in front of you.
Now, is it one of those products like for a while there was like a million the yogurt shops popping up, right? And at its core, yogurt is kind of a healthy choice. But then there's M&Ms and gummies, and all of a sudden it's like, 40, it's like your day's worth of calories in your head. You're like, oh, that was a healthy choice, Yeah. And that they're fooling themselves. So we've really tried to stay away from that. We definitely offer some dessert type items. We don't do chocolate sauce, but we have Nutella, peanut butter, cookie butter, those kind of things that you can sweeten it up with, goji berries. So we've tried to play off of that a little bit, but keep the products more organic, more natural, with some antioxidants and benefits for you. And the big difference is I think yogurt really got classified as a dessert item, and it's a delicious dessert item, but people don't typically go and eat dessert out 3-4 times a week. And so our product, while similar in nature, certainly serves as something that can become part of a lifestyle that you can eat 3 or 4 times a week. Make it part of your daily routine and feel good about it. Because it is it has the components of all healthy products. You can make it as healthy as you want it to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're very diet conscious. What I mean by that is we're dairy free. We use a gluten-free granola. We have nut-free options. If you take the honey off of it and substitute it with agave, we would be vegan. If not, we're vegetarian. So we're kind of focused on that segment of people who are just kind of eating a little bit cleaner and have some of those dietary restrictions or guidelines. And we're happy to give them a quick service, fast casual environment to kind of be able to eat a little bit better and focus on some of those dietary needs.
Now, what about from a caloric standpoint? Like, how many calories is in a typical bowl?
It's a full meal. So we offer 3 different sizes. Our kid size, which is a 8 ounce, our regular or original size, which is a 16 ounce kind of deli container. And then we offer what was originally the Super Bowl, was our 32 ounce shareable size that you would look at and say, that's way too big for any one human to eat. And when I found the acai bowls out in California, that's all they offered. Some places have started to offer the 16 ounce size, which would be kind of that 32 ounce split in half. And then we feel like we were the first ones to introduce that kid size bowl, that 8 ounce, which is great for snacks or a light breakfast. But what's funny is that 32 ounce that it looks like no human being could possibly eat themselves. You'd be amazed at how many 14, 15, 16-year-old girls come in and put one down in a matter of minutes. And you're like, where did that bowl go? So I think people are into different things and have different appetites, and it's certainly an easy product to enjoy eating and feel good about yourself. From a caloric and nutritional standpoint, I think there are a lot of modifiers that can change it. Our original granola comes with cashews and almonds, so natural proteins in there, and you can add peanut butters to increase the proteins. If you're worried about the sugar counts, you can get rid of that coconut, get rid of that honey. Sometimes I'll take the strawberries off. Strawberries tend to be very, very sweet. But from a calorie standpoint, our original bowl is going to be kind of similar to what a meal would be. So between that 400 and 500 calorie serving of our original 16 ounce bowl. And then so much of it comes down to the various toppings that you add or subtract from it. So very customizable to kind of the diet and the things you want to focus on from a nutrition standpoint.
And then, but the SoBol experience doesn't have to be an acai bowl, right? You have other things. You have smoothies. You have soups. There's a lot of offerings here that are beyond this, right?
Yeah, so we kind of made our name with the acai bowl, and specifically the granola that I started making in my mom's kitchen in the early days. We've since introduced the pitaya bowl, which is a dragon fruit. It's a little less sweet. Has some different components to it from a nutritional standpoint. We've recently launched the green bowl, which is a kale and spinach based bowl. And then we offer a full line of smoothies, no powder, no syrup. Everything's made with fresh fruit, no ice. Really trying to make sure we're getting the full nutrients out of these products that we offer. And then as recently as this winter, we're based out of the Northeast. We deal with some frigid winters. And so we have rolled out a line of soups, that kind of fit really well with what we're trying to do. Again, they're all natural soups, no preservatives. They're made fresh and delivered to us from a facility. So we feel really good about that offering. And this winter's been our first winter where we've offered that warm item. We're working on overnight oats and things of that nature to again kind of expand on our product line. But 70% of our sales are of the acai bowl, pitaya bowl, green bowl. That's really what people are coming to us for, which we're really excited. We believe we have the best product in the business. Our acai bowl, again, kind of going back to that granola, our secret recipe granola, is what sets us apart from many of our competitors. It just has a great balance. The flavor profiles match really well. I come from a culinary background. I went to culinary school out in San Diego. So I try anywhere I can to kind of use those skills that I learned in handcrafting these bowls.
Yeah, I think I have gone to one of the, not yours, but one of the acai bowl places, like an independent place, and it was fantastic. We loved it. We went as a group, and it was just the idea that you can have a healthy meal that you feel good about. It doesn't weigh you down. it's filled with as many nutrients. You can make it as healthy as you want it to be. And I could see how people can eat there. I was on vacation, but I can see how people can eat there multiple times a week because you can kind of have the variety you want and feel good about it.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we found is that people will customize their bowls to their liking, so they have great variety while still eating this easy on the go item. It's in a bowl that you can walk through town with, that you can throw in your car, throw in your bag, and bring back home with you. So it's a convenience. It's got some obvious nutritional benefits to it, and what we believe the most important part is that it's downright delicious.
Right. Now, when a potential franchisee are they, when they find out about your offering, is this something that maybe they were down the road of a smoothie place or a yogurt place, and then they see this, and then they can see, oh, this is going to have way more occasions. I can see more user. They might come back multiple times a week. So are you getting some people that were thinking one way on their franchisee journey, and then once they become aware of this, then their mind expands to your offering?
Absolutely. I mean, people are always interested in the food business as a whole. I think it's an exciting thing, especially for those who aren't part of the food service community, to become a part of. It's a really relatively simple process to enter the food business and learn through these smoothies and bowls that we're making versus a full-fledged sit-down restaurant. We've been also fortunate that our launch has coincided with the big social media and the technology, where people are more aware of the different food trends that are going on throughout the country. When I found this out in San Diego, again, there was nobody doing it out here on the East Coast. Now, there's been an influx of people who are making their own bowls and their own healthy smoothies and those kind of things. So I think that's amazing. But I think, from a franchising standpoint, people want to be kind of part of what's new and exciting in food. And I think that we've kind of nailed that. And we've been able to get people who are excited. The best franchisee is someone who's passionate about the product and about our values, about eating healthier and giving a healthier option to their local communities. Those end up being the best franchisees for us.
So now, how did you get that escape velocity when you took it from that kind of the shop inside your parents' ice house to where it is today? How did you kind of evangelize and get the word out and get your initial franchisees?
Yes, I mean, the best form of advertising is word of mouth, and the best way to get word of mouth is to get people to try your bowl. So we were fortunate that when we opened our original location here on Long Island, that nobody else was selling it, and that we had set such a high standard with our product and the ingredients that we used that we became a phenomenon here on Long Island. And there's so many people, 3 million people plus here out on the island, and we were getting people from all over the place coming to our store to try our bowl and saying, we need one of these in our town. And so I think that was a big piece of our early success of getting people interested in being part of our system and bringing a SoBol to their location. So getting to try it, getting to hear about it, seeing all the buzz stuff going on different social media platforms, and then seeing that there was a need in so many of these local towns like there are throughout the country.
So then how did you move from owning kind of a SoBol to now training other people and supporting other people so they can be successful in their local market? Because those are two different things, really.
For sure. And that's been an evolving process. Couldn't be done, can't do what we do without our amazing team here at corporate, with our amazing franchisees who support the brand and push us to make it better. We started with one location. We opened our second corporate store and realized very quickly that this was a scalable model and that we needed to kind of iron out all the processes in order to scale it, whether we did it through corporate stores or through franchising. We were fortunate enough to be introduced to Steve Biegelman from SMB Franchise Advisors, who gave us some great insight into the process that goes into franchising. And we felt like we were best suited to teach people the intellectual part of the business, to set them up for success, that we could help introduce people to the quick service food industry through the açai bowls. And we've just been continuously dialing in all of our processes and trying to stay current. We're in the midst of updating all of our stores with digital menu boards. We've introduced our online ordering platforms. We've had to integrate with third-party delivery, as that's become a huge part of the quick service food industry and the food industry as a whole. So it's always an evolution. It's something we're always working on. And early on, when we first decided to franchise, I think you think that you have these great systems because they're working in your corporate locations. Franchising is a totally different beast. Getting a franchisee to have that same high standard that we have, and more importantly, getting their staff to have that same high standard that we have, that's been the challenge. And I give a lot of credit to both my corporate team and the field reps who work every day in coaching these franchisees and their staffs, and to the franchisees themselves who, are working hard to make their customers and their communities happy and working with their young staffs. One of the big challenges, and I think all quick service people deal with this, is that our workforce is comprised mostly of that 16 to 22-year-old age group. For many of them, it's their first job. Even more of them, it's their first job in the food industry. And so we've really had to work hard in making sure they understand the standard. I always like to say that the customer chooses to walk into our store and spend their hard-earned money with us, and that we're going to choose to give them the best value and the best product and the best customer experience that we can. And so, my background in the hospitality industry, I love being able to service somebody and get to see the instant reward of a smile on their face, a thank you. And so we strive real hard to make sure that all locations have that energy, so that when our customers walk through the door, they feel really good about the experience that they're about to have.
Now, when you were deciding whether to be a franchisor or to do owner-operated stores and continue the expansion that way, what was kind of the pros and cons? I'd like you to share some of your thinking for that potential emerging franchise that's out there that's maybe thinking the same things you are.
Yeah, so, some of it was being a little naive, to be honest, right? I had 2 locations. I had about 60, 17, 18, 19-year-olds working for me. And I said, boy, if I'm going to have 10 locations, that means I'm going to have 600 of these kids working for me. And I don't know if I can do that. And so I said, I'd rather have 600 franchisees working for me, thinking, franchisees will be adults and they'll know what to do, and we won't have to deal with some of these issues that we're dealing with. And you quickly find out that there's just a whole new set of issues that you come into when dealing with franchisees who are kind of buying into your system. Franchising is a very unique model where they own their own business and they invest lots of their own money and time, but they're running your system. And so we have to make sure that they're running the system to our standards. Obviously, they want to see a return on their investment. They want to see an evolution of the brand, but we want to make sure that we kind of stick to our roots and say, hey, the food business, you could sell anything, right? But we want to focus on what we're best at. And that's the acai bowls and the smoothies, and giving people healthier alternatives, in a quick service environment. So I think that the challenge for us was to find the right personalities, people who have an entrepreneurial spirit, but understand that there's a system to follow and that their best chance of success is to follow the system, and they paid for it. And it's an advantage for them to have that kind of support and all the training that goes into it versus trying to go at it yourself.
Now, are you finding that a good franchisee is an owner-operator, or is this something that the systems are so strong that it can be run by absentee owners?
Yeah, so we're getting ready to open our 41st location, and we've got a bit of it across the map where we have multi-brand operators, people who are in multiple brands. We have people who are kind of strictly investors. Maybe they bought it for their children or have an operating partner. And then we have people who are kind of those dreamers, the people who are looking to work for themselves and to be involved and really give back to their communities. We found that the most successful franchisees are the ones who are in their stores every day. Nobody cares about your business like you do. Nobody cares about your customers like you do. And while we all try very hard, and we'll continue to try very hard to get our workforce to feel that way and have a sense of ownership, the ones that are most successful for us, and I don't know that this would be across the board, but for us are those people who are really invested in putting the time in to meet their customers, to spend time with their staff, and give back to their community. So I would say that the owner operators have a more likely chance of being successful because they're hands-on, because their staff know that they're in the trenches there with them. They also have the best understanding of how the business works, how a bowl is put together, and minimizing the waste in product, maximizing your labor and their time as labor is getting more and more expensive. So again, I would say that those who are heavily involved in operating their locations have seen either more success or faster success.
So now how do you go about attracting more of those type people?
Well, I think that, we're an open book, and we really encourage prospects and people who are interested in joining our system to reach out and speak to our franchisees, and we can give them kind of a heads up on who's doing what. I think, one of the first questions we ask is that whether they plan on operating the business themselves or whether they're looking to do more of an absentee. I think those who are looking initially to develop multiple units are typically the ones who are making the investment into management in order to scale quickly to open multiple locations. And we always say if you're going to do that you have to understand you're going to make a bit less, but hopefully you're going to grow your territory and develop multiple locations. So for us, it is a vetting process, one that we're always honing in on. And as more and more stores open up, we're able to get more and more data about what works and what doesn't, what personality traits we're looking for when we're vetting franchisees. So we're finding great success with, I don't know if you'd call them millennials, but those in their later 20s, early 30s, who maybe have taken on corporate positions, aren't moving up the ladder quite as quickly as they'd like, and are excited to kind of jump in head first and be a part of operating their stores. So I think that there's certainly something to that. And we have franchisees that range all through demographics, whether it's, male, female, young, old, experienced and inexperienced. So, but what we're finding is there's a sweet spot of people who are still hungry to go out there and prove themselves and to make a difference and to earn their own money. And so we've seen a lot of success again with that. Again, I don't know whether it's Gen X or millennials or any of that, but there's certainly those that are in their 30s that are looking to create income for themselves, that are looking to have a taste of success and be a business owner, but want the support of a franchise system and the brand.
Well, you started in New York. Is your expansion primarily in the East Coast right now?
So, originally it was solely on Long Island, again, trying to hone in all the skills necessary to be a great franchisor and to build a brand. And we've successfully, opened 30 locations in the state of New York. We currently have 4 locations in Connecticut, 1 in Beverly, Massachusetts, 3 in Pennsylvania, 1 open and operating in Florida. And next week, we're actually opening our first location in California. So, originally the focus has been specifically in the Northeast and New York and, things that we can get to, multiple stores in one day. And then as we've grown, we've decided to take some chances, to try to grow our brand, into a national brand. We currently have development deals underway, down in Florida. Alpharetta, Georgia is preparing to open, hopefully end of second quarter. So that'll be our first Georgia location. So you guys will be able to go out and try one of our bowls there. And then we have a lease signed in North Carolina, just outside of Raleigh. That's a 3-unit development deal. We have a deal in Virginia. They're in lease negotiations. So, we are more focused on the East Coast. We're open to expansion with the right partners and the right development plan. But there's so many great towns across America and specifically up and down the East Coast that we're excited to be part of. So the short answer to your question is yes, we're very focused on the East Coast. It's where our brand is strongest. It's where we have access to very easily either jump in our car or jump in a plane and be able to be down to a store by lunchtime.
So now if somebody wanted to learn more and have more substantive conversation about you and learn more about the brand, is there a website?
Yeah. So our consumer site where our consumers go is called mysobol.com. If you're interested in franchising and think this would be a great fit for you and your family and to your local community, our website is ownasobol.com. That'll kind of give you a brief description of our brand and what we're looking for and where we are and what our menu's about and what the finances look like. And you can right there on that website fill out an inquiry that'll go to our sales team. Robin Graff, who is our director of sales and vice president of the company, sits down and speaks with each inquiry, vetting them to see whether they're a good fit, answering any questions they may have. And then if it seems like a good fit for them and for us, we scheduled the discovery day for the entirety of the corporate team to get to meet the prospect, and then for them to go and travel and go eat some acai bowls and check out some different store layouts, and decide whether this is really for them or not.
And that's SoBol, SOBOL, right? That's SOBOL.com.
Yes, SOBOL.com. Yeah, and then so SoBol.com if you're interested in franchising. And if you're looking to just order an acai bowl or find a location near you, you can go to mysobol.com.
Good stuff, Jason. Thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, this is Lee Cantor for Stone Payton. We will see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.